Farming family, welcome to Greenleaf Farms. Tuesday morning, and then the sky is bright. Farms, we offer you a lot of production guidelines according to your production, how to manage your farm, be a successful business personnel. If this is your first time on our channel, Greenleaf Farm Ghana, just subscribe to the channel, share, and recommend us are ready to learn agribusiness. So I will be showing you step-by-step guide how to start successful tomatoes business in a dry season, and then how to increase the yield. You know, in farming business as general, we look up to so many things, and then people say it's easy. Alongside, it's not easy to start. First of all, in farming, we start with the product, getting your land, making sure that it's close to water source. You know, in farming, water is one of the most important key you have to put in mind, because you know, during the dry season, there will not be much people in the production. You have water source available with you, good to go with all kind of production, and then that's where you're gonna make the profit. So I'll be showing you to start your tomato farm. You get your land, then get your pumping machine, you get your intake, you get your outlets, you get your pipelines. That one also depends on the type of irrigation you are going to use, whether drip, overhead, rain hose, sprinkler. All depend on you, the farm, and then all depend on your capacity or your financial. After you are able to get all these machine, and then you start with the variety. You know, in selection with the variety, you have to make sure that you select a variety which is adapted to Ghana climate, and then should be able to adapt to the soil condition that we have in Ghana, and then you have to make sure that it's resistant to disease, and then also high potential of yielding. Now we have a lot of varieties which does well in Ghana. Normally, before you be a successful farmer, you have to cultivate F1 variety. We have varieties like Cobra F1, we have 34, 26, and then we have so many varieties. It depends on you, the farmer, the one that you want to start with. So with this, you have to make sure you purchase a very good seed from the agro shop. After that, then you proceed with your nursery production. In nursery production, or before you get a successful nursery, you have to make sure your nursery is in a good shape and in a good condition. Normally, the olden days of doing nursery, before you get a successful nursery, you have to make sure you set up a very good nursery house whereby you can nurse yours in a tray. You know, it come along with different, whereby even some of the seedlings can be attacked by nematodes, and then so many kind of disease. So it's good you get your small nursery house whereby you can nest in a tray for a very good germination and then a very good business. You know, there is one major thing that you have to consider in nursery production is hardening. You know, at nursery site, you have to make sure that the seedlings are hard before transplanted. The nurseries are not hard. There will be a problem when transplanted to its permanent place. So you have to make sure you harden your nursery before planting to or transferring to its permanent place. Tomatoes production. Tomatoes does well in a different kind of soil. You have to make sure that you select a very well drained fertile soil for your tomatoes. Tomatoes doesn't like waterlogged areas. It doesn't like too much clay, like sandy soil, sandy loamy, clay loamy. It doesn't like typical well drained soil. So let's look at the land preparation for the tomatoes. You know, in tomatoes production, we have different ways preparing the land for the tomatoes, but the best way is to do ridges. So first of all, you have to clear the land. After clearing, then you remove all stumps, then tractor can plow for you, and that one also depends on you. That use the harrow to harrow it again after plow. All depend on you. But if you don't have the money to do the second plow, you can just go straight for your ridges. And then in doing the ridges, in the two ways, is either you use the manual or the machine ridges. You have the capacity to take the ranger, or depend on you, the farm, to use the ranger to do it. And then you have to know your soil pH, the nutrient level for optimal tomatoes growth. So you have to consider that. So let's look at the planting of the tomatoes. You know, in planting of the tomato, we are looking at the spacing in between the tomatoes. First of all, in raising the ridges, you have to make sure that the ridges is up to 18 inches high, and then spacing for the tomatoes plants have to be 45 to 60 centimeters apart, within rows, and with row space approximately 90 to 120 centimeters apart. We have different varieties that you have to do like that. We have varieties like Roma, Amara F1, require ample spacing to overcrowding and promote healthy foliage and fruit development. So you have to consider spacing before planting your tomatoes. And then we have different varieties that also take a wide range of space to do well. So in this, let's look at the supporting system, how to support tomatoes. In tomatoes production, before you get a very neat, a very healthy, a very nice tomato, you have to do a stick or trellis. And then by trellis, we have different way of trellis. We have different ways of trellis. In trellising, some people use the trellising net, some people use the galvanized wire on top or bandy wire on top. They have tomatoes plant one after the other for maximum yield and then to prevent the tomatoes from rotting. So with this, if you're able to do all, you see that your tomatoes will also have a long lasting span for you. You will get a very neat tomato. So in this, let's look at the irrigation aspects. Let's look at the irrigation aspects. In providing regular watering to keep the soil consistently moist, especially during the dry season. You use drip irrigation system or soaker hose to deliver water directly to the root and maximize water waste. So it's good you use drip irrigation for your tomatoes. It's not tomatoes alone. You can use drip irrigation for green pepper, veneros, any production. You can use drip irrigation. Good, you use drip for optimal tomatoes growth and yield. That's why it's good to use the drip for your tomatoes so that you can get a very good yield. So let's look at pruning aspect. In tomatoes production, we have determinate and indeterminate plants. Some are pruned, some are not pruned. All depend on you, the farmer. In Ghana, mostly we don't prune our tomatoes because sometimes our weather condition here is very high in pruning them. So by pruning it, if you don't know, and then the fruit start to come, you could see that the sun will take harsh on the fruits, whereby it will change the color of the tomato. So it's good you prune, but not to the extent that too much fruit will be showing up. One of the most important to know in production is the fertilizer application. Before you get a very good yield in farming, 3 things that you have. One, your agronomic, whereby you give fertilizer on time and then you water on time. Let's look at the fertilizer application. In applying of fertilizer in tomatoes farm, we use measurements for the fertilizer application. First of all, the first application started after 1 week of transplanting. From that one, you measure 10.45 of NPK 50-15 granular and dissolve in 250 liters of water. So after the dilution, you use 75 ml per plant. Sometimes people use machine, they will pour the fertilizer inside the machine and give. And then sometimes people also use the fertigation tank. All is good. Using the machine to give fertilizer, correct, because the amount of fertilizer goes into the plant, you don't. But when you use the right measurement, whereby it assumes that every plant have to take 70-75 ml. So in developing of the plant, see that all the plants are getting the normal nutrient and working normally. In some farms, you see that taller than some will be shorter than some. Use a different method or wrong method in giving the fertilizer application. So I'm telling you use measurement, applying your fertilizer, and with that, you wait for the next 3 weeks. Still measure 10.45 NPK 50-15 granular added with ammonia, so 5.45 and dissolve to give to your plant. That's for the fertilizer application. So we continue with the pest control. For you to get a successful production, good you time your application rate. So take pesticide every 7 days added with a foliar fertilizer does not contain potassium. A foliar fertilizer like Super Grow to mix pesticide and spray. One of the major problem in production is people don't know. I'll let them know today. In mixing of application together, you mix application and there are times you not mix application. Some particular chemical at a particular time. Apply chemicals when it's too much rain and when it's not raining. We know the type of application you have to apply in the rainy season and the type of application when it's not raining, so that you not get your production condemned. there is one particular key that I will give to my followers and my viewers, is that we shouldn't mix potassium chemicals with any other chemical apart from pesticide. We shouldn't mix potassium chemicals added to any other chemical. It will cause your production doomed. Thank you for listening to us. Leave your comment under, share the video, and then like it. Thank you.